Hey guys, welcome back for another Full Joy Mom video. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope that you had a wonderful holiday season. I am attempting to respect and honor my body and how much the holidays just in energy and effort require from my physical body, and I'm taking it easy for a little bit here in January, which, you know, as a mom does not look like how everyone else gets to take it easy. But if you submit to the Lord, He will give you grace and show you where your times of rest are and give you the grace to do things like hop on and record this YouTube video, which I'm excited to share the concepts or the things that I've been thinking about, you know, because the videos recently have just sort of been me getting on and just sharing life, sharing where I'm at, sharing what, you know, the Lord is showing me. And some of them I know are coming out more topically. But anyways, recently, the month or so leading up to Christmas, the Lord was bringing me to a new level. I was leveling up in my ability to not worry, and is pretty awesome. I think that the week of Christmas and New Year's, everything kind of is like a blur, and it's not like I'm really focusing too much on anything. But as I'm getting back to it now, I just feel so excited to really continue on this journey of not worrying. I mean, of course, there's always another level that you can go to in the things of God. And I think that's so beautiful about your relationship with Jesus is it's just, you're constantly learning and growing and, you know, strengthening all of your faith muscles. And right now I am working on the not worrying muscle. And I love it because worry is ridiculous. Like, it just steals so much joy from you and energy. All these diseases that are linked to stress, which comes by through worrying. You know, when you worry about something and you're worrying about it, that you're stressing about it, you're thinking about it over and over again. It's not a constructive thought process where you're like, okay, I have this problem. Let me, in a non-fear-based way, think through a solution, or I know there's a solution. Let me think about this, and I'm going to use a lot of time just sort of thinking through this thing. Completely separate from just worrying. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do over and over again? And there's no constructive thought process to it. It's just fear and worry. And I've been paying close attention to my thoughts lately and just how much every thought I have is either fueling me and giving me more energy or draining me and giving me less energy. And those stressful moments of worry are zapping my energy faster than anything. And when I will just quickly, I've been picturing myself lately, if I like get my brain into the middle of like, oh, yep, and there's 100 things we're worrying about all at the same moment, like I'll just picture myself like balling all of it up and just being like, here you go. Like I don't even have to figure out like the right words to be like, Lord, help. I mean, sometimes I do. Sometimes I pray through it, right? And sometimes I'm like, oh, Lord, help me not to worry about this. And it's kind of like I got to peel back every layer of like, and I know I can trust you with this. And I know you've been faithful before with this. But lately it's just been like, nope, scoop and give it to him. Like, I'm just not. Because, you know, some of the things are repetitive and there's nothing I can do about it, or it just is what it is, or I'm working towards a different outcome. And in the meantime, getting so stressed about it is not going to do anything. So it's just, here you go, Jesus. There's definitely some facial expressions and exasperation that come with that because I'm just like, whatever. And I love that we serve a God where you get to be real with him and you get to do that. And he's so happy to take it because he already took it, because he bore all of our sin, our iniquities, our trials, our burdens, everything. He took it all on the cross. And I don't want to take it back through the form of worry. I want to have everything he paid for. And he paid to give me a life that is abundantly full of joy and carefree. So along with the scooping action and giving it to Jesus, I've also just been like thinking about myself like, I'm just gonna be the most carefree individual. Like, I'm just gonna be as careless as possible. Not in a way of where I'm not intentional and I don't think through things and I'm just drifting through life, but I just want to be so overwhelmingly peaceful because of my connection with him, right? It's not something I can do apart from my connection, but I just want to be in this spot where it's like, whatever you tell me, it's not going to move me, and whatever could make me worry, I'm just not going to worry about it. It's not worth my time and my effort in worrying about it. And something that's phenomenal about your brain is that, like, when you complain about something, you actually, scientifically, they've proven you shut down the portion of your brain that problem solves. What? I don't know about you, but if you'll pay attention to when you get a problem and you start to complain about it, you're not coming up with a solution. You're just repetitively stressed out about it. And when you decide to stop complaining about it, usually like that is when you're able to come up with a solution, because you've stopped complaining, and it's basically like you've flipped the switch back on in your brain to come up with a solution for that problem. So that's the area of life going into 2023 that I'm just really focusing, one of the areas I should say, really focusing a lot of effort into, is just being like, I'm just not gonna worry. There's no point in it. It's so pointless. And then along with paying attention to my thoughts, it was really interesting before Christmas to sort of recognize these key areas of my life that are every day where I have a tape recorder, a record, whatever, the track in my mind, the song that gets sung, the thing that I think and think and think and think, is so ridiculously draining. And oftentimes it's not the truth, or maybe there's a portion of it that's the truth, but it's not what I want to align with. Like, I'll give you an example, is like, I'll be cleaning up the house and I'll be thinking like, either I'm a failure because the house is a mess, or I hate cleaning the house, or it's so cluttered it's never going to get clean. All of these things. And when I think about them, like, all right, right now, like, definitely my flesh wants to identify with everything I just said, and the fact that my house feels like it's never going to be clean, and it's never going to be decluttered, right? But that's not really the truth, because the truth is that when I work at it, I can get my house to a place where it is less cluttered. And when I was going through the other day and cleaning the house, I realized, well, why don't I tell myself something that's going to empower me? Like, it feels so great to have a clean house. I love the feeling of when everything is picked up and organized, and I love serving my family, and this is one of the ways I'm serving my family. I mean, don't get me wrong, my kids are responsible for cleaning and helping to clean and all that stuff, but carry that over into the dishes, which have in the past not been my favorite chore, and I don't really know why. I just don't like the dishes, but I'm retraining myself to have a new tape recorder in my mind, because just thinking all I ever do is dishes, or I hate the dishes so much, and like actually experiencing stress while doing the dishes is pretty ridiculous. So instead, I've been thinking about things like, I'm so proud of myself for cooking my family food and having these dishes, because I've cooked them food, and I really love the feeling of giving my kids nourishing food, and so dishes are a result of that. And like, of course, there's always like the, I'm serving the Lord through doing these dishes, and Jesus, I'm cleaning these dishes for you. And so anyways, just been paying a lot of attention about what I'm thinking, and recognizing that I don't have to think the same things that I've always thought. And maybe the old me didn't like something, but the new me can learn to like it. And is it really beneficial? Okay, I'll just give you an example. If you live in a climate that has snow, I'm not going to try and change your opinion if you don't like snow. That's fine. I'm just going to put it out there that, like, grumbling about the weather or the rain or the heat or whatever you don't like, and just being like, all the time, is draining. Like, you can't change the weather. I mean, you could move, but if you don't have the ability to move to a perfect climate for you, then you might as well just in some way learn to find joy in that situation and learn to like it. And it's interesting, because that's a thing I've been working on for a few years. And I would have previously thought of myself as someone that like only liked the warm and didn't really like the snow. And now I'm like, oh, if I just find 500 things about winter to focus on, I actually really love it. A whole lot easier being a stay-at-home mom than being a nurse that had to drive in the snow. So I feel everybody on that. But you get the point. I've been thinking about what I've been thinking about. Okay, the Holy Spirit just reminded me of one more area I was thinking about before the holidays. I don't know how to always like share about marriage stuff, but I just know that like I'm so grateful for my marriage and for how much my husband and I have grown. Like a little bit of our testimony is just that we were hot messes when we got married. I was 21, and so that would make him like 23. And we've been married for almost 15 years now, and we just didn't bring a whole lot of character to our marriage in the beginning. My husband was raised Catholic, I was raised non-denominational, and we just, I don't know, we weren't really awesome. And so our marriage wasn't really awesome. And when we got filled with the Holy Spirit, like 7 years ago now, that really changed a lot because we started getting character. The Holy Spirit started convicting us of things. We went through some trials, and those trials produced all kinds of wonderful things in us. And so now we just have a way better marriage because we're like better people. And it's so fun to grow in who I am and to look back and be like that girl that I was when I was married. It is the grace of God that my marriage is standing, because I was not a good wife, and I was a mess, and I was rude and snappy and disrespectful and ran my mouth and was emotionally a train wreck often. And I'm not those things anymore, and I'm not perfect, but He's grown me. The Lord has grown me, and my marriage has grown me, and I'm so happy for that. And my husband isn't the same person anymore, and it's really amazing to just like let go of your spouse and be like, I'm just going to worry about me. I'm not going to worry about you. Jesus has you, and I don't need to worry about it. And it's so fun to actually sit back and enjoy the other person's process. Like, even if it doesn't look good, even if it doesn't look hope-filled, even if it's not making you feel awesome, to just be like, you know what? Ball it up and give it to Jesus. Like, just pick your spouse up and be like, here you go, Jesus. And so the other day I was recognizing just, that you can actually give your husband the benefit of the doubt, and you can actually give them grace. And one of the things that was hard a few years ago when we really started to make changes was understanding that it was going to take effort for us to look at each other in the new light and not see each other for who we were, the previous 7 years of marriage. Maybe this is what I always did in a conversation with him, but now I'm actually not doing that anymore. And it took effort on his part to like look at me and recognize I was actually changing and I was actually being different, and to, treat me accordingly, and vice versa. So the other day, he did something like so out of character for who he is now. And like, of course, I'm mad about it. And then I realized like, oh, like I could just be okay with the fact that my husband had a bad moment and he had a bad day, or he's having a bad day and the bad day made him have a bad moment. And I could actually give my husband grace. Like, I don't have to, get so upset about this. I can just be like, whatever, like I can just be okay with it. I can just forgive him and move on and not, make this some big thing, because who cares? My husband had a bad day. He had a bad moment. Get over it. Like, it's the same exact grace that I am going, hey, I had a bad moment. I slipped. I messed up. I wasn't who my new nature is. Can you give me a break? I'm requiring that of him. And so anyways, I don't know why. I don't know. The Holy Spirit reminded me of it. So figured I'd lump that in with this video. And don't worry about your spouse. There is no point. You're not going to do anything. Just give it to Jesus. Give whatever it is to Jesus. Yeah. It's good stuff. He will change your marriage. Like, you don't have to be the mouthpiece of God in your marriage, telling your husband exactly what you think he should be doing differently or how you think he should be leading your family. Like, you can just continue to do good in every area of your life, in any area of your life. You can just step back and be slow to speak and slow to become angry, because then that's going to give God room to work. When you're quick to speak and you respond back that fast, that does not give God any room to work. And as I have grown in that skill, it's amazing how much the Holy Spirit wants to be a part of making my marriage work. And it's phenomenal how much the Holy Spirit will work on the other person's heart, either whether it's mine or his, when you just keep quiet. When you're arguing with your spouse, you don't give any room for the Holy Spirit's conviction to come in because you're too busy yapping. From personal experience, I know this. But if you will just give that thing to Jesus, then there's room in your spouse's life for the conviction of the Holy Spirit and for that change to take place. And it's beautiful. So anyways, I hope y'all are having a wonderful January. Let me know how your Christmas was. If you have any New Year's, I'm not huge into resolutions by way of I find it more, I do things around New Year's. We do things around New Year's. We have traditions and I have things I do, but they just are not necessarily like a big long list of New Year's resolutions. I tend to, look into those things more around new school years. It just fits in better with me. But all that being said, if you have the motivation for someone, if you have the motivation for something, you just move on it. Motivation is so valuable. And I have learned that I will miss opportunities if I don't get, I'll delay things if I don't get started when the motivation is there. So if you find yourself in the beginning of January and you have motivation, do it. And I encourage you and hope that it goes well for you. And yeah, let me know how you guys are. See ya. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Until next time.